Hello, soul family. How are you doing? It's been a minute. I have been busy with missions, and I just want to say that there's no vindictive soul like the Christian soul. Anyway, I was led to give a urgent collective update today. And so I had already recorded some stuff that it's not going to drop for a few days. And you know how you're going about your day and you think, oh, I'm done. I'm good. Anyway, no, Source is my party planner. And he let me know that this message had to be sent out tonight at the latest. So here it is. There's been some major missions that have taken place galactically in the different realms and in the different dimensions. Our ground crew and our space selves and many, the Space Force and Galactic Alliance, Galactic Federation of Light. We have worked together, we've collaborated, and that's what I've been busy doing. In light of that, every big mission that we complete speeds up all timelines. So there are many who in the Galactic Federation of Light and the Galactic Alliance and Space Force, that's their job. They look at timelines. That's all they do is they look at timelines. They look at the percentage of probabilities and what may happen down that timeline. And of course, there's never any guarantees on what's going to happen because this planet is full of duality and free will choice. And we don't ever give that up. So these are all probabilities, and these are things that have come directly from Source and through many other ground crews as well that we collaborate with. But most of this information is not third hand. It's direct from Source or direct from the Galactic Alliance. So if it resonates, it's meant for you. If it doesn't, maybe listen for future reference. But I'm sending this information out in the most authentic and heartfelt way possible. So most of our missions that we have completed, the Guardians have completed, sped up all the timelines. The timelines recently converged. If you've seen really any of like the Avengers or Doctor Strange or Loki, they have images of the timelines and how an action can diverge or converge the timelines. There's always trillions and trillions of timelines. Okay. So the main timelines that are what most humans on Earth are on recently converged and then split. So there were a lot of different timelines, and now there's mainly three. So you have the lower timeline, which is your 3D folks who are entrenched in fear and panic, service to self, negative polarity. Same as it's always been, and they are out for to profit and to benefit themselves, and they do not care about humanity in a nutshell. Then you've got the higher timeline, which is your 5D people, and those are really high 4D, 5D individuals who are doing their work. They're consciously aware that they need to make sure they stay aligned to Source Creator every minute of every day, because the darkness likes to come in and take advantage of our weaknesses. Now, these are people that have done their shadow work. They're helping teach others. They have become the teacher. The student has become the teacher. They're leading the way. They're forging the path. And it's not just me. It's not just my group. It's not just my ground crew. It's a lot of beings that are in that delineation of that higher timeline. Then you've got the 4D folks, the lower 4D, higher 4D folks. Those are kind of like the gray area. They phase in and out. They're on the fence. They're very introspective right now. They're in that point where we were whenever all this began, where they don't know what to believe yet, but they just know internally that some shit doesn't make sense. And so the 5D, high 4D and 5D people are the ones that you're seeing that are calm, and they're not afraid because they're very certain of what their future has in store for them. They're doing all the right things, and even if their earthly body died tomorrow, they have absolutely no concern about where their energy body is going. And so if you just look in a crowd, you can pretty much separate out who's on what timeline. The introspective folks are probably not hanging out in crowds much because they don't trust anyone. The fear and the panic and anxiety folks that just feed off of that, they're out in the streets. They're still part of the problem and not part of the solution. Now, I'm not saying that if you're out there working for the greater good that you shouldn't be out on the streets doing that. That's not what I'm saying. You know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that are out there creating problems, making existing problems worse, and feeding off of that, loving the fact that millions of people are living in a fear state. And then you have us, where we really do see through our clear abilities and our different divination and just the sense of knowing is that everything is exactly how it's supposed to be. And so that's the first thing that Source wanted everyone to know, is that because there's been so many missions completed successfully, the timelines, all timelines, negative timelines and positive timelines, have sped up. And in doing so, it's going to be felt in the collective on every level. It doesn't matter what timeline you're on, you do feel the shifts. And so the lower timelines feel it in more chaos and lack of control and all of those things. And then the higher timelines feel it in like this giddy excitement, kind of overlapping the calm, because we know exactly what to expect and we know exactly what's behind us and what we're never going back to. So once the timelines split, they diverged, 3D, 4D, 5D. Then that was the final energetic shift that allowed for the energetic split of Earth. And that happened a few days ago. And you can do a YouTube search for Earth split and look and see how many people that are dialed in true energy to Source and to the archangels and their guides. They're all reporting the same thing. The messages are not really that unique when they come from Source. The truth is the truth, right? We've always said that. It doesn't have versions. So if you're really tuned in and you're clear, you should get the same message. Small variations, but the same message. Now, because of that, trillions of trapped souls have been released that were energetically bound to lower dimension Earth. Now they've been released. Now we've been crossing souls over for many, many months now, coming up on a year, really. And it's just something that we've done for the greater good as we cleared cemeteries and national parks and all sorts of things, hospitals, government buildings. We released a lot of souls that had been trapped there for nefarious purposes. So this is not anything new to us, but it may be absolutely new to you. And so that as energy, it has been the practice of the dark ones to trap the energetic souls that were of the light and use their energy. They were never able to cross over to be healed and go on to the next phase of their life. They have literally been in an energetic turmoil and limbo since they encountered whatever darkness they encountered. Now, with the energetic split of the planet, they've been released in mass numbers. And I mean, huge numbers, trillions every single day since this has happened. And so I ask, if you're a being that is accustomed and comfortable moving souls over, please do that, because there are many, many, and it is negative beings. It's also just trapped souls, and they all have the opportunity to choose a light. Archangel Michael and his legion of angels helps every single one of them. There are some that are so fearful to make a step, to make a move. They don't want to get caught up in another web of darkness. And the angels will literally hold their hand. In essence, it's energy, but you know what I'm saying? They escort them from where they've been trapped to the light, and they are being healed in mass quantities. And the angels came through last night. The archangels came through last night. Metatron woke us up with a message that could not wait. And when you're woken up by the archangels and they are bowing to you, because it has been their prayer that all these souls be released, that they could be healed. And they're coming over in droves. And they had nothing but gratitude for the work that we do here in this dimension. And so, sorry, it's hard not to be emotional whenever you're literally saving souls. So it's been very, very successful in our endeavors. We have worked very hard, all the while being attacked by people that have no sense of belief. They only go by the words printed on a book that's been edited umpteen thousand times. You know what I'm talking about. And so all of those people, I will give you this word of warning. If you think that you're protected because you go to a church, because you say all the same prayers and you hold a rosary or whatever it is that you happen to do in that building because that minister tells you to, it has nothing to do with protecting you. When you come after a light being and a light worker and a warrior for source creator, and you attack us, here lately, Mother Sophia and Source has had every input. It is not us deciding this. We identify those who are attacking us and give them to Source. And those soul contracts are being burned right and left, because you are making your choice and you're not opening yourself up to any new information that could show you what true freedom looks like. And so that is my word of caution to you. If you think that you're justified because you go to a church in attacking those that don't subscribe to your dogma and your indoctrination, you are sadly mistaken. And you could quite honestly be sacrificing your own soul. Now, because of everything speeding up, this is how we have encountered our ascension lately. The last month or so, our consciousness is merging with our 5D self. So, you know, you exist in 12 dimensions simultaneously. Everything's happening in all the dimensions all the time at the same time. Time is only linear here in the third dimension. Everywhere else, time is not like it looks here. And so that makes it very hard for the 3D brain to process. But as we merge, as we continue to ascend, we are more in tune to what our 5D form is feeling and sensing and going through than the form that we left behind in the 3D world. So there's this thing, 5D pregnancies. It's a real thing. In the fifth dimension, there's roughly 5,000 to 8,000 souls, beings there now. We are all the light beings that are ascending are populating New Earth. There's a huge amount of population that is coming in by way of newborn light beings, some pod babies that have been born on ships, and also children in different dimensions that will elect to come to the fifth and live there on Huna Matea, New Earth, the new golden age. Now, I'm not the only one, and my ground crew's not the only one. This has been talked about by several different in-tuned energy workers, light workers, and way showers of the 5D pregnancy. Just do a search on it. You'll find it. It's a real thing. And when you think about us being energy bodies and our consciousness is tied to that energy body, the more that you ascend, the more that you're really more in a different dimension than the one you physically occupy. And that's just temporary. But you can have sensations of the 5D forms pregnancy. So many of us are actually pregnant in the fifth dimension, and you're having symptoms in this dimension. And so I just want to reassure you, if you're feeling like you're pregnant, but you don't have a uterus, you don't have the ability to be pregnant in this body, it's because you're really more in touch and in tune to your fifth dimension self that is pregnant and having children. And many of those pregnancies are multiples. So quintuplets, quads, and triplets are very, very common. So I just wanted to put that out there because it's become, with the increase in timeline, with this shift, it has become really more prevalent in the sensations that people are feeling. And I don't want you to be, first of all, thinking that there's anything wrong with you. And I don't want you to think that you need to run off to the doctor and think that you have something like growing inside you, but you don't, right? Because it's not in this body, it's in your 5D self. It'll all make sense when we're there. So solar energy is peaked. The love wave, some people call it the solar wave, the solar flash. It has begun. It started a few months ago, and Source decided to give it to us in waves instead of a big bang because it's easier to tolerate. If you have had ascension symptoms, you know what I mean. So most of the people that have made it this far are not having as much ascension symptoms now, but you may have other people around you that are really, really nauseated, terribly dizzy, lots of ear ringing, change in their diet. They don't want to eat what they usually ate, or they have no appetite at all. So just if you've already been there, done that, just give them some encouragement. It's very normal and it's a good sign. Those that are really aware of ascension have been aware of it for a long time. And some people are just now waking up. They're just now understanding what's been happening energetically. And they're just now stepping off of that negative information loop to understand what's actually happening in our world. And so if you have some words of wisdom, Source is asking us to help our fellow brothers and sisters out with some information. They may not be able to process it fully, but just drop that mustard seed and let it be a moment of truth for them in a sea of chaos and lies. The last update message I have from Source is that if you have been thinking, I have plenty of time because the ascension and of everything of the planet is not going to be happening until 2032, you're mistaken. That's what the timeline used to look like. That timeline has collapsed down considerably, and probably a more realistic completion year looks closer to 28, 27, 28, 2027, 2028 to complete the process. So there's a first wave and there'll be a second wave. We're looking at that second wave being the bulk of the people that are in that 4D phasing timeline, the introspective group of people. If you feel like that is you, I welcome you to Healing Disclosures on Telegram. We can help you understand what the heck's going on. There's lots of people in there that you can ask questions to and totally relate to what you're feeling. And understand that it's really a matter of your work that you're willing to put into your own spiritual growth and your soul evolution. And with that comes ascension. Ascension happens whether you're putting in the work or not, but you really want to be on the side of being proactive and taking your power back so that you can have a say and you can decide kind of how quickly you are ascending or not. So that would be the second wave. And there's going to be more waves of people coming in. We're just the first ones. We're the way showers, right? We're forging the new path. We are the ones that are setting up the 5D communities. All of my mission sites are already set up in the fifth dimension. Everything is fully functional. And so they're just waiting on the people to join in. And it's an amazing, the beauty you cannot even fathom in this dimension because everything's been so distorted for us. So please check the link out, Healing Disclosures with Nicole on Telegram. It's the best way to find us. And understand that there really is nothing to fear as long as you truly align to Source Creator. You will be taken care of. All of the Ascended Masters are available for us. All of the Archangels, all of the angels, they are with us. We have extra, extra, extra protection. And it's easier today than it was for us 2 years ago because the timelines have moved up so much and so much of the darkness has been vanquished. So I hope you find this message comforting and I hope it rings true for you and that we can help each other find our way to New Earth, the new golden age of miracles, and that you are comforted by the truth because your soul knows it. Your soul recognizes it. Even if your brain says, what the heck? Your soul may go, oh, finally, someone makes sense. You guys have a great day and I'll see you again next time.